Hey lovelies, welcome and welcome back to my channel. If you join me for the first time, my name is Princess Annie, and if you're a return subscriber, thank you so much for joining. Please do subscribe if you haven't. Click on the notification bell so that you get notified every time I post a video. Yeah, everybody's welcome here. You're welcome. Yeah, so I'm gonna be undoing my hair. As you can see, this hairstyle is no longer in good condition, so I gotta get rid of it. I trimmed a little bit. I trimmed these edges a little bit because I didn't know how long my hair is now, so I just had to trim a little bit. So I'm getting rid of this. I want to remain with my natural hair, but I'm gonna be telling you guys a story as I am doing this. How exciting, right? I'm gonna be telling you guys a story. After I finished, like, I did my secondary school here in Bulawayo. I'm in Bulawayo right now. I'm currently in Bulawayo. So I did my secondary school here in Bulawayo, yeah. And oh my god. I always avoid people undoing my hair because I fear that some people are not good with hair, so they'll end up breaking it. But now I think I'm also doing the same, but I'm trying to be careful. So I did my secondary school at Sobogazi High School here in Bulawayo, and after I finished my Form 4, yeah, my mom, she asked me to go to Botswana, yeah, and then I went to Botswana to be with her. My brother was already in Botswana at that time, but he was not staying with my mom though. My brother was in Botswana, but he had then moved from my mom. Yeah, my mom is the one who took him, and then but he was no longer like staying with my mom. He was in Botswana, but they were in two different towns. Like, my mom was in two different cities. So my mom was in what's this, in Maun, yes, and my brother was in Kasan, and I was to go to my mom in Maun, yeah. So then my mom, she had bought us a stand, you know, a stand like for building, yeah, something like that. So my mom had bought us that place. My brother was like, oh no, since I'm now working and whatever, I managed to save a little bit, so I'm gonna just go there and start building, you know. So my brother had gone to that place. This place is called Juru. That's Juru in Harare. Like, after, it's near Bora. To those who know their places very well in Harare, after Harare. So the place is near Bora. It's called Juru, you know. So my brother went there, started building. So I then, and in that time I was going to Botswana. My mom had called me to Botswana to go and be with her. Here in Bulawayo, I was staying with my mom's younger sister, you know. So I went there. I went to Botswana, and I didn't stay much. And my mom was like, then my mom left me in Botswana and she went to Zambia. After going to Zambia, she came back. Like, I was left alone for something like a whole month in Botswana. I was just by myself, and she was in Zambia, yeah. You know, my mom is a businesswoman. She'll be like doing this and this and that and that and that, you know. So my mom was like, no. When she came back, she was like, I saw some opportunities that I need to, you know, some business opportunities there, so I need to go back there. In fact, she was like, we need to go back there, you know. So by that time, like, I had just gotten to Botswana, so I was like not interested in moving again, you know. So I was like, you haven't even stayed for a year here in Botswana and we're already moving, blah blah blah, to places that I don't know. Like, mind you, like, I don't know what I was thinking, like what I was fearing, I don't really know. But my brother was, where my brother was, like where our stand is, that place in Juru, yeah, in Juru, after Harare Bora, yeah, that place in Juru. I had never been there. My mom just bought a stand, and then my brother was the first person to go there, and my mom had not gone there as well. There's this friend of mom, this guy who helped my mom to find that stand, you know. Then my mom just bought it. So in everything that was happening, my mom was sending my brother. Like, my brother would go and pay, my brother would go and do this, my brother would go and do that, you know. And then my brother ended up going there to build, because he said he had saved enough for him to build us something, you know. And then I was like, I am supposed to choose now. Where am I supposed to be going? Should I come back to Bulawayo? What should I do? Then I was like, Mommy, I don't think I'm gonna be going to Zambia with you. I'm going to my brother, Yeah, I'm gonna see what my brother is doing. He's building and whatever. So I'm gonna be going there to be with my brother. Then my mom was like, okay, there's nothing I can do. It's your choice after all. Then we started preparing. My mom then went to Zambia and I came to Zimbabwe. I came here in Bulawayo, said goodbye to my mom's younger sister, and I went to Harare. Then upon arriving, my brother was waiting for me in Harare because I had said Harare is a very big city, and I'm scared to be there alone. Because Harare is just so big. So my brother was like, oh, look at my hair. My brother was waiting for me in Harare town. My brother took me home. And upon arriving, we arrived so late. My brother was so excited. He had told all his friends, since he had been there for a while, he had told his friends that his sister is coming. And the sister, me, of course, the sister is coming. My sister is coming. So there were this couple that he was like, they were calling him Bamnini, and he was calling the wife my good sister-in-law. Then the guy was calling him brother, something like that. So my brother, sister-in-law, something like that. Yes. So upon arriving, we arrived so late. Yeah, so we arrived late. So there was no way we were gonna meet people. We're not gonna meet people when we arrived. There was no way we were gonna meet people because it was late. I think it was around what is it, 10, around 10 p.m. of course. Yeah, so we went to sleep and whatever. Early in the morning, I was so tired. So I was still sleeping, and then I hear a knock on the door. Then I'm like, obviously I'm a visitor here. I'm not supposed to be opening the door for the visitors or whatever they are. So my brother went there and checked who it was, and it was this woman. Okay, I'm gonna call her my guru in this thing. My guru meaning a sister-in-law, so I'm gonna call her my guru. Yeah. So this lady, she knocked by the door. She knocked at the door. It was something like 7 a.m. in the morning. 7 a.m. in the morning. Then she knocks at the door. She's like, oh, did auntie manage to arrive? Auntie meaning me. Meaning me. Did she manage to arrive? My brother was like, yeah, she did. Then he's like, did she arrive well? Can I see her? My brother is like, no, she's sleeping. He's like, no, she has to wake up. I just came here for her and whatever. I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like being disturbed, especially when I'm sleeping and all. So this whole noise had woken me up. So I was like, okay, let me just check here. Let me not be rude. Let me just check on her and hear what she has to say and all. Then I went there. She was like, no, I'm so excited. Then also I'm like, that kind of behavior. But I'm so bored. But I'm like, me, I can't I'm always smiling even if I'm not happy. I don't know, maybe it's my coping mechanism, I don't know. But I'm always smiling. Even when I'm so angry, I'm smiling, so I'm like, oh, something like that. Then I'm like, no, I have to unpack and clean the house, cook, make breakfast for me and my brother. Then she's like, no, we're gonna be back very soon. We're gonna be back. Very soon we're gonna be back. Don't do this. Let's just go and we're gonna be back. Then my brother was like, no, she's a nice person, you don't have to worry, like just go with her, you're gonna be back now, you know. Then I'm like, okay, let me get my shoes. Let me get my shoes and dress properly. Then she's like, okay, I'm waiting for you, you know, something like that. And then she was so friendly. She was friendly, I don't want to lie. She was so friendly and she was so excited to see me. But then we started like walking, like from our house, from our yard. Then we started walking. There was a neighbor, like this our neighbor was a woman on the other side. Like we've got like two neighbors, yeah. So this neighbor, the road that we used, that side, there was our neighbor who was like this old woman, and this old woman was having like 10 children, like they were all girls, so they got married. So now she was staying alone. But previously, like the night that I had arrived, her daughter had also arrived, and her daughter had also arrived, but we just didn't know about it. Like I didn't know, of course I had also arrived that moment, and I didn't know who stayed where and who doesn't stay where, you know, something like that. So as we were walking, this woman and her daughter, like one of your daughters, because she now stays alone, all of them got married. So this woman and her daughter, the daughter that had arrived the previous night, they were sitting outside and they were eating, we call it chimunya. The like leftovers from yesterday night. So it was like what do you call it, saza? What do you call saza in English? What do you call saza in thick mealy meal porridge? I think it's something like that, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me down below in the comment section. So they were eating saza. I'm gonna call it saza because I'm not sure about this English term that I just used, but maybe it's true, maybe it's not, I don't know. I don't know, right? So I'm gonna call it saza. Just to help some of the countries that I have been in. Like in Zambia they call it anshima, in Zimbabwe we call it saza, obviously. Then in South Africa or something they call it papa. Then in Botswana they call it palich. You see, so something like that. You get the picture of what I'm talking about, yeah. So they were eating saza. In this case I'm gonna call it saza, you know. So they were like eating saza and fish, yeah, from like they were leftovers from like yesterday night. Then they were having, this woman was having, like the daughter of this old lady was having a child. Like this child was she was having a baby. In fact, she's a baby because she was like, maybe I can say 1 year or 1 year, maybe 1 year or 1 year something, 1 year something. So then they were all eating, like they had just dished up their food. Then this woman was like, I'm coming there, you know. I'm like, oh my god, this is weird. I'm like, this is weird. You can't do that. Like, you're coming where? Like, these people do not have your share. But I'm just saying this in my like silently, you know. So I'm just like, oh my god, this woman, this is so embarrassing. She shouldn't do this, you know, something like that. Then she was like, let's go there. Then for me to say, no, I don't want to go there, you know, it's rude. At the same time, I have to say hi and know these people because I just arrived. So I'm like, oh, okay, let's go and greet them. I'm thinking, in my mind, we're just gonna greet this old woman and go wherever we're going, where she wants to take me. We just greet this woman, right, and go. It's not a problem. Then she's like, oh, how are you? You saw what? It's been long seeing you. Speaking to the daughter now of that old lady. Oh, it's been long. How is marriage? What? Then the lady's like, you guys should join us. You came when we just finished like dishing up the food, so you can just join us. Then this lady's already washing her hands. to join them. I'm like, oh my God, this woman, what's wrong with this woman? Like, you cannot just join people. You found them eating. Yeah, it's African, yes, I know. But you found these people eating, and these are leftovers. They are not like much for everybody, for all the whole village. They are not much, you know. So you like, it would be nice for you to just say, ah, we are good, you know, something like that. Then I'm like, no, I'm fine, thank you so much, but I'm okay. You know. Then she's like, no, as for me, put for me. Dish for me, my sister. Then that lady is like, putting another, like, bring another plate to put food for her. Then they had to share that food. The baby was having her own food, and then the mother and the daughter, like the old lady and her daughter, were eating in the same plate, and they also gave her own food in her own plate. This lady this my guru. Then they give her like sadza in her own plate and started eating. So babies, you know something about babies? They can eat, yeah, they can eat their food. After they eat their food, they can say, no, I'm full, I don't want it anymore. Yeah, but if you eat their food, like 3 minutes later or even 2 minutes later, they will tell you that they want their food again. You know, something like that. Babies, excuse me, babies are just like that. So the baby's like, and Aguta, I don't want the food anymore. Yeah. Then this lady is like, oh my God, I don't know babies of nowadays. Bring your food to me. Then as she is talking, she's taking the baby's plate, and then she's combining the food, her food plus the baby's food, and she's eating. Then as she's eating, she's asking those ones, are you full? Are you full? It's like you're not like interested in food the way you are eating. Just put in my plate if you are no longer like, if you're full, just put the food in my. And then they were like, no, we're still eating. I'm like, oh my God, what did I get myself into? I should have like refused to come with this lady. I just didn't know this character, that she's like this. Then she's like, did you hear that story? Like the day we arrived, there was a case that happened, it happened the previous day, of a woman who was claiming to be like RAPE by someone, by the neighbor, who was claiming to be, you know, yeah, by the neighbor and whatever, and it was like a scandal, a very big scandal. Then she's like, did you hear that story? That woman said the guy came into her house and did this and whatever to her. Hey, did you hear that story? No, these people were lovers. But then the husband arrived while the guy was still in the house. So the woman just said, this guy did this and that to me. No, she was lying. I know this story. Yeah, what? I'm like, oh my God. So we're now gossiping, yeah? We're now gossiping. We're now gossiping like I'm new in this area, and then if something happens and this gossip like that's spreading and people are now being asked about this gossip, and then they're gonna say I was there as well. Then I was like, what should I do? Should I just stand up and say I'm coming? Because I was still close to the house. This is our neighbor. Like, but then I'm like, that it's gonna look rude or something. So maybe let me just wait for her to finish eating, so that I just tell you that you have to go back home and whatever. Then I waited for her. She finished eating. She was like, okay, I have to go and look for this juice. You know this juice? Because I know how it started and everything. So I want to hear how she got, how this whole thing happened to this woman. Because she's lying. She was lovers with this guy, and then the husband came in and they were together, and she just started screaming and saying the guy did that to her. It's a lie. Then we stood up from there. I'm like, you have to go home. She's like, no, auntie, you can't go home right now. No. No, you can't do that. Like, let's continue. I want to show you around. Like, oh God, this woman is friendly, but the character I'm not loving, because I don't like gossiping people. I can't fight, you know, when these things come out. people start fighting, like trying to fight you, like, why were you talking about me, and what. I can't fight, so I don't like gossiping, you know, because gossiping is not nice. Then we left that house. Yeah, that was the biggest mistake of my life. So now, as we were walking past this this old lady's house, meaning we are now, the way the houses were built, it was built in a way that you can, like, maybe there is a house and a stand for somebody here, and a house and a stand for somebody here, and then there is like a, what can I say, like hedge, I don't know, whatever you call that. So we would like pass through people's yards, you know. So as neighbor, like as people who know each other in the village, it's so easy for you to pass through people's houses. Like, they will, if there's no way, you can always pass through people's houses. If you know them, you just say good morning, and you'll be passing through people's yards. But now, as for me, this was the biggest mistake that I did, because it was now hard for me to pass through these people's yards as I am going back to my own house, because I didn't know, like, the road. This was my first time to be there, so I didn't know the way to going home to my own house. I didn't know the right way. Like, beside, like, if we're now not talking about passing through people's houses, I didn't know where the road is, you know, the proper road, the proper way to go to my house. So now, if I say I want to go home, it's now a problem, because she will be like, let's go, and I can't just go back on my own, because now I have to pass through people's yards. They'll be like, who are you? Because they don't know me, and they don't feel safe around me, because they didn't know me. I had arrived the previous night, so nobody knew me in that village, you know. So they'll be like thinking that maybe I'm a thief, or maybe I'm what, you know. So I was like, let's go home now. I want to go back home. The woman was like, no, we can go back home now. I have to show you places. But I was no longer interested. Like, I was no longer interested in all this drama. Then we passed. So now that we're passing through people's houses, it's morning. Everybody's trying to have their own breakfast, you know. So then we passed through, like, this house that belonged to this old lady, another old lady again. Then she was cooking for a husband. This old man was sitting outside, and then this woman was making sadza. You know, us in Africa, we can have sadza anytime. Whether morning, whether what, afternoon or evening, we can have sadza anytime. Even for breakfast, we can actually cook sadza. So she was cooking a sadza for a husband, this old man who was sitting there, you know. So this lady's like, so they were like, oh, you are passing. Then she's like, yes, we're passing. You're cooking for your husband. What? And she was cooking. It was like a chicken. So it was leftover chicken from the previous night. Now she was cooking sadza to eat with that that what do you call it? That is the chicken that was left. The leftover chicken, you know. So she was cooking sadza. Then she's like, you're already going. You know, in Africa we're so polite. We'll be like, no, stay for the food. I'm almost done cooking. Then she's like, let's sit here. I'm like, no, I can't sit here. I have to go. I haven't cleaned the house. I haven't unpacked my clothes. You said you were gonna be going now. Then she's like, no. But at the same time, I can't really fight with this woman, because I don't know the way to the house. I cannot pass through the houses like we were doing, you know, because I don't know these people. You know, so I'm like, I have to go. They're like, no, just wait. No, just wait. I forgot to tell you. Something, another important detail. This lady was having a child. She was having a baby. This lady was having a baby, and she just woke up to start looking for gossip in the morning. She was having a baby. This lady was having a baby. Yeah. So then we sat there and waited for her to finish cooking. Yeah. So after this woman finished cooking, she started, like, we sat there, and she was like, oh no, let me dish up for you. Should I put you, like, in different plates, or maybe you're gonna eat in the same place together? Then I was like, no, as for me, you don't have to worry about me. I'm fine. I'm okay. Then the lady was like, no, you can put food for me, like by myself. It's okay for myself only. It's okay if she doesn't want. Then they dished for. So I'm like, where is this Santa going? Because she just finished eating Santa and fish from that house. Like, what's going on with this woman? Then I'm like, okay. Then I sat there, like, I was angry. But as I said, I can't like be angry and show you that I'm angry. Like, smiling is my coping mechanism. So I'm like, just not believing what I'm seeing, because like the way I grew up, this had never happened to me before. That's not how we grew up. Like, you just wake up in the morning, start going to people's houses, door to door, going to people's houses like that. So I'm like, okay. Then she finishes eating. Then we're cutting through people's houses like that. And then when we arrived at this other house, she's like calling, hey, bestie. Yeah. So the woman is like came out and she's like, yeah, she was also having a child. Like, how is your baby? What? Then she's like, oh my God, I just woke up this morning. I didn't even like take a bath. I didn't do anything. Like, I need some Vaseline, girl. Bring some Vaseline so that I apply on my baby. Bring some Vaseline, I apply on my baby, because like I haven't applied anything on it. Like, I didn't like bath her, I didn't change her clothes. So I'm just like I have to hear that that story of the woman who was saying that guy did this and that to her, whatever. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ. Now we're breaking a record of this gossip in the morning, early in the morning. Then the woman is like, oh, so who is this? Like, oh, that's my auntie. She arrived yesterday. She was in Botswana. She arrived yesterday. Oh my God. So have you cooked anything? She's like, no, I haven't cooked anything yet. I was still sleeping, I woke up late. It's like, no, Chanyi, my way. Yeah, you're supposed to like cook something, especially for the visitors. You were supposed to ask me to sit down and wait for you to cook for me. Then she's like, no, I'm still busy. I was gonna like ask you to do that if I was not busy, but now that I'm so busy and I'm busy with other things, I can't stop everything to start cooking right now. Then I'm like, praise the Lord. Who? Then I'm like, okay, let's go back home. Like, I have to cook for my brother. She's like, you're so funny. When you were not around, your brother was surviving. Like, your brother knows how to cook. Maybe your brother might be cooking for you right now. When we go back, we go and eat. We go and eat. So I'm like, okay. Then we continued. We passed through this house. We passed through another house, and this house was the uncle of that guy who was being accused of doing some whatever to that woman. I don't want to say bad words here. So the lady was now looking for the uncle so that the uncle tells you what exactly happened. But then the uncle was not there. There was the grandson. And this grandson was just in grade 4. You can imagine, in grade 4, yeah. And she was sitting there eating like he was eating what do you call them, sweet potatoes to go to school. He had to go to school after eating. Then she's like, you're eating sweet potatoes. This sweet potato is too big for you, like a child. Like, you eating all these sweet potatoes. Look at this one, is too big. And then she's picking that sweet potato from the child who wants to go to school. She's picking that sweet potato. She's like, do you have some tea left? Then she is like, no, I don't have any tea left. Like, okay, I'll eat it like that. Pour some water for me. I'm like, oh my goodness. This is like, did you hear that story of that woman who was... I'm like, no. Like, are you gonna like say this story to a child? Like, discuss this story, this like story to a child? Like, really? Are you serious? She's like, but he's grown up. These kids of nowadays, they know all these things. You'd be thinking that you're hiding it from them, but they know. I'm like, yeah, of course. But you cannot do that. It's not proper. Like, she's like, okay, no problem. Let's go. Then we're going and she's eating a sweet potato. Yeah, sweet potato. And you guys, you know, if I tell you the time, it was, I think by this time it was now around like 2 in the afternoon. Around 2 in the afternoon, I had come, like I came from home. We came from my house at 7. Now it was around 2 in the afternoon. Then I'm like, no, I have to go back home and cook. I haven't had my breakfast. She was like, no, you cannot say that because you refused the food. You were saying your stomach is full, you're fine. You would have eaten your breakfast, but it's not like I'm the one who is causing you not to eat your breakfast. You refused all the food that they were giving us on the way and whatever. You were saying you're good, you're fine, you're good, you're fine. I thought you were okay. So we're like, this is an adventure. You were like, it's supposed to be enjoying this, like having me as your tour guide, like you seeing place. I'm like, of course I want to see the place, but not this way. This is not how I dreamt of, like, getting to know this place. This is not the way. And then I'm like, oh no, I have to call my brother to come and pick me from here. This was, no, don't call him. Yeah, don't call him. We'll go back to your house. And then by the time I arrived, it was exactly 3 o'clock in the evening. 3 o'clock in the evening. They're like, oh, so I'll come and like pick you tomorrow again. Then I'm like, no. Tomorrow I'll be very busy. As somebody who has just arrived, I have to wash my clothes, some of my clothes and whatever. And I was like, I have to do this and that. I have to clean the house. I have to do this and that, you know. So don't. Then I'm like telling my brother that I was so angry. My brother is like, yeah. I was like, I told her that she's a nice person. She's a very nice person, but they do that. Even their husband does that. Like, they just wake up in the morning. They don't cook anything at the house, you know. They just move into people's houses, eating like that. Just moving. Like their wife and their husband does that. That's how they survive. So they just wake up in the morning, go to people's houses. And I'm like, oh, that's very dangerous. Because it's not everybody who is happy. Who is happy about that, you know. So I'm like, wow. So now I'm done undoing my hair. Thank you so much for keeping me company. I love you guys so much. Please do subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't. Click on the notification bell so that you get notified every time I post a video. Now my hair needs a thorough wash because it hasn't been washed in a while. So yeah, it's gonna be like it's gonna be like a serious job going on. So yeah, I just love my hair, you guys. Look at this. Oh wow, amazing.